want to look into this Candace Owens thing. Candace Owens is blaming like Charlie Kirk's pastor, I think, for the latest conspiracy, and they're talking about her. Let's see a little bit of this.
Mikey did not have blood anywhere.
Okay, and TPUSA has responded to the latest Candace Owens conspiracy. Let's check this out.
But the bigger thing is that he says Mikey had blood all over him, except Mikey did not have blood anywhere near him because Mikey was behind the tent when Charlie got shot. And Mikey, in less than a second, does something that I find to be quite strange. He puts his phone to his ear and he begins a conversation. So we're going to watch that clip in its entirety. Mark is going to bring it in.
Okay. Looked to me like he put both hands up on his ears.
So we decided to slow this clip down, and we're going to watch this clip.
Here we go. Investigative work. Slow and enhance. Let's do it, Candace. Let's see. Let's see it.
You can see that it is exactly 834 milliseconds from the time that you hear the shot. That is how long it takes for Mikey McCoy to put the phone to his ear. Now, why is that precise timing so important? Because there's no dialing.
Tell us.
He didn't have time to dial.
No dialing. The glove doesn't fit. He didn't have enough time to dial. Like Ace Ventura.
Dial.
Getting to the bottom of it. Who talks on their phone without dialing first, huh? Just asking questions.
Time.
See it.
You hear the shot. That is how
Sherlock.
long it takes.
Sherlock Holmes.
To put the phone to his ear. Now, why is that precise timing so important? Because there's no dialing. Mikey didn't have time to dial. Okay? You can't.
No dialing.
And put your phone to an ear in 0.834 seconds. The next time that you're going to see Mikey McCoy, as we just showed you, is in just under 2.5 seconds on the other side of the tent. He's on a phone call. So we can track Mikey, but let's watch the clip again in milliseconds so you really grasp how quickly this transpires.
Let's grasp. Let's see.
So on this
he
clip
puts both hands up. It was both hands.
There we go. We're tracking.
And he walks away with one.
When the clip was brought to my attention,
What does this mean? What? Okay, he put his hand up. His phone was in his hand, and he held it up next to his head. What is this? So what? He killed Charlie Kirk? What's the conspiracy here? No Spartan Sarduka says, no dial, no trial. That is funny. That's clever, Spartan.
I obviously have a file. I have a big folder of files of every angle.
Big folder, guys.
I decided to track Mikey from every angle available to see, like, maybe we just missed it. And he did at some point.
There's more?
Phone down, dial a number, speed dial, hold down one. I don't know. Maybe we missed it. Because that seems automatic, right? 0.834. That seems pretty quick. And no, he doesn't do that.
And what's the conspiracy about this? What did he immediately, the second after he got shot, Mossad said, call us as soon as the mission is complete. And he was just ready to go. And he's like, okay, synchronized clocks, bing, bing, bing. Phone to head, go, hit, it's a go. Charlie down, phone to head. Like, what the fuck is this? You say there's more.
We even have him in front of Charlie's car when Charlie is brought to the car.
She's lost her mind.
He is still on the phone. I can show you the clip of that. Take a look.
She's like, elementary, my dear Watson.
See him in the background with the backpack.
Okay.
Okay.
So
what are we to make of that?
Good question.
The only logical conclusion that I can come up with, and many others, because I said play devil's advocate. I want you to advocate for Mikey McCoy. I want you to play lawyer, and you are representing your client, Mikey McCoy. What was he do? How did he do it this quickly? No one could win this game.
Dude, Candace's face right here, it makes me cringe and annoys me so much the way she says this. It's like watch this.
Mikey McCoy. What was he do? How did he do it this quickly?
This face.
No one could win this game. The only logical conclusion that we come up with was that Mikey was already on a phone call. At 12:23 p.m. By 12:23 p.m. He was already on a phone call. So I said, let's go back a little earlier in the footage and see if we can find when he actually maybe dials onto the phone. Maybe we can see him pick up the phone.
I can't believe she's still doing this.
The shot takes off.
Like this.
And after being that call, if we're following this logic, that would mean he puts his phone down until Charlie gets shot.
Logic. I don't trust your logic,
we were
lady.
able to find what we think could be that moment. And I can tell you that it is 1 minute and 45 seconds approximately before that shot goes off. And we can watch that here.
Okay, let's see.
You see Mikey's on his phone here, and you're going to see he pulls it up and he starts to cover his ear again. Now, that could be unrelated. Again, we're taking a guess here. That's what
Milking Charlie week 5. Yeah, it needs the views.
Justify it in any other way. And I want to be clear, we're not here to make assumptions, okay? And we wouldn't have to make any assumptions if Turning Point USA could just tell the truth. They could just be open and they could be honest about everything.
Tell the truth.
I obviously went out to both Mikey McCoy and Andrew Colvett for a statement. Asked those two questions. Hey, who were you on the phone with? What's going on here? No response. Weird.
Not weird. You're the schizo that's like basically saying, hey, can you answer my questions? Because I think you killed Charlie Kirk. Like it's not surprising they would ignore you. And they address this. They actually addressed it. We're going to play the clip in a second. I saw another video where the guy like was recording himself and he was like, Charlie got shot. Charlie got shot. I'm looking for that one.
Because if that was me and I saw clips going viral and people were drawing conclusions from that clip, thinking that I was already on the phone, thinking that my reaction was weird, I would instantly hit back. I'd say, here's my call log. You want to know who I was on the phone with? 911, obviously. I was freaking out. I called 911. I didn't know what I was doing. Here's my phone. Here's my whole call log for that day. But this is, I don't know. I guess we live in a world where that doesn't make sense. I would have issued a statement to dispel any rumors, but
dude, they've been dispelling her rumors like from the beginning. The Charlie Kirk show has been like a respond to the Charlie Kirk truthers and Ian Carroll and Candace Owens.
They have not.
They have not. We've covered on the show addressing every one of her stupid claims. How is she still doing this? It's literally shocking to me. I know what's his face? Crowder called her evil. Okay, so here is their response. Let's see this.
People you'd ever meet, brilliant, Christian, kind, everyone he ever met in his entire life, couldn't hurt a fly, was part of a conspiracy to murder. Suggestion online that Mikey, Charlie's chief of staff, one of the most sincere people you'd ever meet, brilliant, Christian, kind, everyone he ever met in his entire life, couldn't hurt a fly, was part of a conspiracy to murder Charlie. That's what's going on.
Yeah. It's vile. It's utterly vile.
Who would do this? Like, what type of individual? Just to create content, do we think, or is there what's the ulterior?
I don't know. I think a lot of this mindset just sort of fuels itself. It's sort of addictive in the same way a lot of social media stuff is addictive, or in the way like honestly something like pornography is addictive or something. Like they get really
Hey, can anybody find me the link of the guy that did the selfie video? I wanted to play that too. I don't know if that's how related that is to this.
They get irrelevant off of like the idea of like that they're doing something that's daring or out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just want to.
It's conspiracy. What's the term Big Tech said? It's truthsterbating, like masturbating, but for the truthers. Conspiracy truthsterbating. They get real into it. It's fun. I do it sometimes too on some things.
I want to make one other point though, and this is actually to your point. You saw
everybody's
heroic things that day.
Sherlock
I saw
Holmes.
Mikey do heroic things. I was not on site, but I immediately flew to Utah. We got a plane. I mean, it's not something that I'm used to, but it was like my wife went with me. We went straight over. I knew I needed to be with Erica and the team immediately, just because, I just knew. But that moment when I got the news, I was so shell-shocked. I was not even there, but I was immediately traumatized. My brain fries like an egg. I can't see straight. I can't think straight. All I knew is that, like, what's happening? My wife came in. She, like, hugged me. We started crying together. And I can't even remember those moments very clearly. I wasn't even there. Mikey was two
Mike has
steps
talked
away.
about that.
And I asked him, I was like, do you even remember the moments after? He's like, I can't.
You probably go into shock.
I know I
like,
called Erica.
If you watch your friend get shot and he was right there, he was feet away. He saw the blood squirt out of his neck. He probably knew he was dead right away. He goes like this. He holds his phone to his head. He's like walking around, something like that maybe. I don't know. People are going to do some weird things when they see somebody get their neck exploded right in front of them.
I know I called my wife. I know I called my dad. I can't even really remember the steps I took. I can't. But here's the last thing I want to make a point of. And because Charlie had given me similar instructions along the years, said if anything ever happens to me, you call Erica.
Yeah,
that's the other thing. And he drilled that into Mikey's brain so that when this moment of trauma happened, that he turned around and he knew how to do it. And by the way, last thing, because this is part of the video allegations here, is that
he was on the phone with Mossad. The next theory will be he triggered the explosive inside Charlie's microphone to ignite. That's what he was doing. He typed in the code from his It Made in Israel cell phone and it blew it up. And then he pretended like he was on the phone. I think that's what happened.
They're alleging that he was on the phone immediately. He was not. He was taking social videos, which he would send to our group chat, which we would then put on Charlie's social while the event was happening, so you could see like the crowd come in or his interactions. And we were only 2 questions into this event, so he was still getting it out to all the chats he needed to do, which he did at every event. He turns around, and it was so blaringly loud, I'm told. You would know this better than I, but this is what I'm told. It was so blaringly loud, and he was so shell-shocked, he put his fingers in his ear, but his phone was still in his hand. He walks away. And he's
not even walk. I want to, because people are talking about that. The way it was is we had a cordoned off area with grates, so you had controlled access. All the people, when this happens, they all get the idea we should leave before we are shot, and so there's a little narrow gap that I think people. It's not really walking; it's that everyone has to slow up to get through this little narrow choke point to get out of the area. And
anyways, well, the point is he walks briskly. I don't even care if he's walking, running, whatever, because. Again,
I love how these guys have addressed all of the claims that Candace brings up, and then she'll be like, they're not answering my question. I think there's something going on. Your face, oh, dude. I've never liked Candace. I don't think I've ever liked Candace. When she was a Zionist shill and at the opening of the embassy and working for TPUSA, and then even when she started to become supposedly based, I saw right through it from day one, man.
The most traumatic thing you could imagine had just happened to him. My brain.
No, she's not. Come on, it's been like months. It's been months. Slow release tactic. What? Leaking DMs that Charlie Kirk was listening to a Kanye song? Come on.
Seeing it.
Dude, Candace is retarded, dude. Do you not get that? Look, let's see her video about the guy with the selfie video.
It's a selfie video. Takes a video of himself. So let's watch that video.
They just shot Charlie. They just shot Charlie. They just shot Charlie. They just shot Charlie.
Dude, the guy's in shock. Dude, look at him. He's like about to flip out. None of this is suspicious at all.
He's dead.
He's dead. Oh! How did he know he was dead? As soon as I saw he was shot, I said, "Oh, he's dead too." I thought he was dead right away. A lot of people did.
God.
Oh. Dude, for her to be playing videos of Charlie's friends, like that in the moment are recording like traumatized videos and then trying to imply that like he's somehow implicated in this is such bullshit, dude. He looks like Mossad. Yeah, right. Oh, that's all you have to say? Make another stupid face? I guess nothing needs to be said but for me to make a face like, You know, I noticed on TikTok, too, there's so many viral videos of, like, moms, young moms that are like, Candace is on to something. I'm here for this Candace exposing the Charlie Kirk thing. They've tried implicating virtually everyone in the crowd and on Charlie Kirk's team. I know. Reaction video face, right? Okay, let's see what else here. I think this is a Jewish Zionist lady. Am I blocked by her? Democrat dispelling lies about, I think she's Jewish. Disrespect to his widow is sickening. Let's see.
Crazy, but it's the truth that I think is going to make your skin crawl. Plus, I have even more never before seen text messages from Charlie Kirk. Incredibly, Charlie Kirk did in fact know that turning point was going to be the death of him, and I have proof of that. He also knew that I was the only person who was going to step up to defend him after he was gone. That sounds crazy, but it's the truth. So let's.
Okay, let's see. Where are these text messages? Candace shares private text between her and Charlie Kirk where he predicts his early death. Kanye, are you going to be the Iron Lady of America? I see it so freaking clearly. I might be Moses, though. I might not see this whole thing through. Laughing my ass off. If that is the case, be my David. Are you kidding me? Dude, you don't even realize your power yet. If I tell you the true prophecy, I know in my gut it's really sad, but I hope it's wrong. You're telling me that Charlie Kirk, this makes me think that, did Candace Owens tell Harrison Smith that he was scared about Israel killing him because he knew about this? Charlie Kirk believed that he was Moses and there was a prophecy that he was going to be killed and Candace Owens was going to be, it would be Joshua, by the way. Okay, what does this other one say here? Leeway, I lose no political capital, resource capital, dig into which or another. What are you saying, dude? TPUSA can no longer deny Israeli pressure. I mean, they can some, but if they have Tucker on, he'll talk about some of it in a pressure release valve sort of way, which is what Charlie was always doing. Thanks, bystander syndrome. Okay, Charlie also write, anyway, I'm not sure if I will live to see the end of this revolution. No, he's just the turning point. He was the catalyst. He was the martyr that led to the revolution. The Charlie Kirk Judeo-Christian ascendancy of Nick Fuentes in the revolution. I believe you were the peace God meant me to meet that will finish the fight. Dude, can they just get a room and... I think there's theories that they were like hooking up. Seeing this text message makes me wonder. I believe you were the peace God meant me to meet that will finish the fight. Since the beginning of TPUSA, I knew in my gut that I might get wiped out at any time. I cannot explain it, but I dream about it all the time, like all the time. Anyway, that's depressing convo for another, right? That is so weird. More a fear manifestation than actualization. Actualization. Not really afraid of it, but I'm just telling you what I know to be true. He knows he was going to die. Okay, what's next? Do we do that one? A couple more here. Candace compared Erica Kirk faith in kooky conspiracies. That's what she's promoting. That's why she's no good.
In front of the world, JFK maybe had a... But I was so clearly deluded in the immediate aftermath of his death that I was operating under this function. I mean...
Hold on, that one's long. Let's watch this one first.
This, and it said it all. He said, they really trying to make us believe this is the good guy. LMAO. I mean, come on. Yeah, I mean, he just looks like a Bond supervillain. That's just what he looks like. And by the way, that's a lot of words to say what I always say. Like, we don't know, but we know. And Josh Hammer, yeah, we know. You're not the good guy, okay?
She's like, here we go.
Jew, guilty, you're Jew, doesn't matter.
She just shows a picture and says, Jew, guilty, bad guy, Christ killer. Look, dude, listening to her with the sound off, just her facial expressions, just drives me crazy. Dude, this is the intellectual heavyweight. This is the top podcast in the world. This is our right-wing leader. You're right-wing Christian leader, sir.
The good guy, okay? You have to believe in your gut. I keep telling you guys over and over again, your gut matters more, right? Your subconscious picks up on things before your conscience does.
Your gut.
Which brings me to dreams, by the way, because before I went on break, many people were triggered because I discussed this, and it said it all. He said, they really trying to...
They said, very totally normal Christian behavior. Kind of funny there. Okay. Candace Owens comes back with guns blazing.
Wrongly assume my attention to you. And I do not want people to mistake what's happening right now or to wrongly assume my attentions here. So allow me to be very explicit, okay? I want war with all of you. Okay? All of you. And there's a reason. I'm going to get to that reason in a little bit, but I want war with all of you. So write your articles, issue your statements, email the White House, reach out for comment, okay? Say whatever it is you want to say about me. I want war with all of you. Because I know this isn't right. And there is no
I feel that. I want war. I want war with all the Abrahamic shills. I want war with all the Yahweh slaves. I want war with all the Yahweh slaves. All the Jew worshippers. All the prophecy paradigm agents. War. I want war. Let me whisper. I want war.
The rest of the world, that all of this is normal. We're not just going to keep on going and jump into a succession plan. We're going to figure out what the hell happened on September 10th first. And I'm going to tell you guys, Charlie had a vision. And I do not want
a vision. A vision that he was Moses and I was Joshua.
What type of individual? What type of individual? Just to create content, do we think? Or is there some, what's the ulterior?
I don't know. I think a lot of this mindset just sort of fuels itself. It's sort of addictive in the same way a lot of social media stuff is addictive, or in the way like...
They're like, Candace brought the goods. A video of one traumatized friend putting his hands up to his ears while he's holding his phone, and another traumatized friend filming Charlie's lifeless body get dragged into the car, and then filming himself like about to cry and in shock and trauma that his friend just got shot and he knows that he's dead. Huge smoking guns, man. Bombshell. We need answers, right, Candace? Very suspicious clues here. I can't believe she's still doing this, dude.
Honestly, something like pornography is addictive or something. Like they get really...
Okay, let's see this. This is the other theory now.
Candace Owens, like right now with her conspiracy.
This is his pastor, Turek, his Christian Zionist pastor.
It sucks too because you listen to people like Candace Owens, like right now with her conspiracy theories and stuff, and like, I don't know, man. I'm getting more and more thinking the best thing that could happen to humanity is the internet could go down.
Yeah, as soon as we lose Wi-Fi, we're all upset, but that might be the best thing that happens to us. By the way, I haven't followed a lot of what Candace Owens has done, but I will say what I have seen. There's a difference between a possibility and evidence for a possibility. You can speculate on anything you want, but unless you have evidence, shut up. Okay? Because all you're doing is causing dissension among the brothers, which is something the Lord hates. If you want to present a possibility and say, well, this could be true, okay, it could be true, but don't accuse people for doing something for which you have no evidence. I heard today, I guess I hadn't seen it myself, but I heard today she was judging people.
I just remembered, I had forgot about that, right? That we had the message yesterday, the Jimmy Dore investigation into the Google searches, the Google trends, right? Like I said, if that were real, it would be all over my timeline and everybody would be talking about it. So that's usually the first indication that something's bullshit is you saw it on the Jimmy Dore show and Ian Carroll, and that's about it. That's about it.
Didn't act the right way. I don't know if anyone.
If somebody has if somebody wants me to watch that and play that and has a short clip of it, they want to share the link. That conspiracy was dead on arrival. I'll look into it. I'm curious. I like looking into the conspiratard theories.
Has someone seen this video? She according to Candace Owens, these people did not act the right way after Charlie's death. Like my friend Mikey McCoy, the brilliant 24-year-old who at the time when Charlie was shot was 23 and was a hero that day. He apparently didn't act the right way according to Candace Owens. He didn't act normal. Newsflash, there is no normal when you're in shock. There is no normal when an abnormal thing happens. Some people are going to act one way, other people are going to act another way. You don't know how you would react. I didn't know how I would react. The only reason that I did what I did is because I thought about it beforehand. I was afraid somebody would take a shot at Charlie, and I thought to myself, if it does happen, what am I going to do? Decide now. And
this is the guy that the first conspiracy was that this guy was doing arm signs, right? He was the one doing the Mossad. He was signaling to the Mossad assassin to take the shot, like they needed a signal or something. Kim Iverson gave that some airtime. Of course she did. Of course she did. Did she agree with it?
I would do anything I could to save him.
I want to see it. He gets into it fast. Thank you, Zornder Edom.
If it had to happen, I was glad I was there because now I know there's nothing I could have done. Nobody could have done anything. He was gone already. We learned that later when we got, looking at him, I thought he was gone, but it was verified when we got to the hospital. But don't say that because I'm observing, psychologists know you can't even get in somebody's head when they're on the couch. And yet you're going to judge people on video from afar? Save it. You're adding pain to people who had enough pain.
Think about that. If she's wrong about all of this, imagine all how much worse she's making it for Charlie Kirk's wife and all of the people around him.
Next time I'll tell you what I really think.
It sucks too.
Okay, there's that. Let's see. Here's the pastor dad, somebody else. Let's see this one. Caught 5.7 thousand likes. Bombshell expose. Pastor Rob McCoy caught lying about his son's heroic actions after Charlie Kirk's assassination. Oh God, is this going to be a nothing burger too?
Shot in the neck. I'm looking at my son who's 24 years old. Justin's the CFO, chief financial officer, and Mikey's the chief of staff. And I'm watching, the minute Charlie was shot, he called me, says, Dad, Charlie's been shot in the neck. Please call every pastor and pray. I said, okay, son.
Okay, so he says his son called him.
The minute Charlie was shot, he called me, says, Dad, and I'm watching, the minute Charlie was shot, he called me, says, Dad, Charlie's been shot in the neck. Please call every pastor and pray.
So what you're saying, he didn't call his dad? What is the...
I said, okay, son. He has wits about him. He was just directing. He had blood all over him,
Mikey's still there, phone in his hand, texting, talking. And then he puts his phone away. There's the guy that Charlie's arguing with. Hunter Kozak is his name. What you're about to see is the tragic moments, but also you got to watch right where I've been showing you Mikey is to see exactly what he is doing. He seems to see Charlie get hit and simply walks away. You're going to see him pop up on the other side of the tent.
Simply walks away?
Again,
Maybe he didn't want to get shot. He heard a gunfight and he just turned and booked it. He was not covered in blood. That is not correct. Okay.
Running like everybody.
Doesn't look like he would have got blood on him there.
Could be shock, but again, you'd think there'd be some kind of panic and he'd be sprinting, but you're just seeing him walk away. Very weird. And it almost...
Very weird. Somebody got shot and he walked away. Very weird. Very suspicious. He walked away.
Like maybe he's on the phone? Not 100% sure.
Dude, maybe he got blood on him. Maybe was he in the car with Charlie? Maybe. How do you know he didn't get blood on him at some point? Maybe he was in the car with him. Maybe he called his dad a couple minutes later.
And then, of course, the security guards, they're doing his thing. And then they're showing Mikey just, walking. Like getting far away from everything.
Oh, my God.
Saying here, Mikey literally turned his back on Charlie since the incident.
He literally turned his back.
He has no idea what's happening to Charlie. Apparently, he could care less.
Mikey McCoy, Charlie's chief of staff and friend.
Oh my God!
He spent the whole morning.
So a guy walked away. So I guess that's super suspicious, huh? You didn't go in the car.
Charlie's side.
Okay, well then his dad was just wrong about having blood on him. Why? Okay, what does that have to do with anything being a conspiracy? He got a detail wrong.
Filming everything.
The kid's dad who wasn't there, got a detail wrong. So I guess Israel did it.
Very instant Charlie was killed. Was Charlie actually dead? Did he need help? Did Mikey rush to his aid or get his phone camera out? Anything? No, nothing. All of a sudden, Mikey McCoy didn't care about Charlie Kirk at all.
Oh my God. He walked away. He didn't save him when he got his neck blown open, so he doesn't care about him at all. This is schizo stupid shit. Real base talk. I hope you're joking about me getting paid to push the official story. Shut the fuck up. You're so stupid. Yeah, man. Mossad's paying me just millions of dollars so I can talk to a audience of 400 people and point out how stupid these fucking kooks on the internet are. Yeah, bro. That's totally it, man. Yeah, little old me is just gonna shut it all down. guys are so stupid.
Behind what is going.
Oh, Unity 17 is kvetching too, huh? It's totally sus. You dumb fuck. Oh, dude, seethe harder, dude. Go watch Candace Owens. You'll get all the intel from Candace Owens.
On.
I don't know. I don't think a guy walking away is sus of anything. I think it's retarded.
I'm looking at my son who's 24 years old.
Okay. Let's see. What else do we have?
I truly believed that I would be fighting for answers to what actually happened on 9/10 alongside Charlie's Inner Circle. I thought the band maybe was going to get back together.
And look at what these people do, too. It's like, that's sus. Everybody in the crowd, every person, you zoom in and you overanalyze it and you go, that's pretty sus. Hey, man, this guy touched his arm. That's pretty sus. Maybe he shot him with a handgun. Like...
We're all going to maybe be on a group chat. Me, Tyler Boyer.
And accusing me of covering it up. I've been covering every single theory. Candace, who was going viral on TikTok for doing this. Ian Carroll and Candace exploding and having millions of viewers listen to every stupid thing they say. But no, me with 500 people watching. Yeah, that's who they're paying off to silence and covering it, dude. Couldn't get any more retarded. This is what you do, too. You get to say any retarded thing, and if I don't go along with it, you go, oh, maybe you're in on it, too. Like, fuck you. Go watch Ian Carroll and Candace Owens, then.
Andrew Colvett, Stacey Sheridan, even. If you're wondering who Stacey Sheridan is, by the way, she's the one who's holding the camera when Charlie's casket is being escorted off of Air Force 2. She was brought in to reel in the big donors. I remember exactly when that happened. All of those people, by the way, were actually brought in by Tyler Boyer. He's a very important character in the story, but we're going to get into all of that tomorrow. The point that I'm making here is that I had assumed, clearly wrongly, that we'd all maybe be on a group chat communicating, raising hell and demanding answers from the feds, from the police, from the White House even. Certainly, at the very least, pointing out the very many holes in this story. And if any one of us had the audacity or the desire to carry on Charlie Kirk's show, that would be the appropriate venue for asking those sorts of questions. But no. I was wrong. Silence. Silence is what we were met with. In fact, I am told that these people believe the official narrative. Lone shooter. No one else involved. Just a crazy guy with too many pronouns in his bio. Hey, 1963 called and they want their narrative back. All that's missing from the story is a grassy knoll, right? Just need a grassy knoll. Anyways, back.
I'm sorry, but it's the reality that in the real world, there's crazies out there that have access to weapons that can climb up on a roof and take a shot at somebody. Like, are we acting like there's just everything's going to be fake? There's no real violence in the world. Any violence is going to be a big conspiracy. I see this Jimmy Dore video you want me to watch. Allowed on YouTube, 1.68 million subscribers, 600,000 views 12 days ago. But yeah, no. The Mossad's really, spreading their dollar really far. So I can say I think this is dumb to 500 people. We'll play this in a second.
At headquarters, I am told it's business as usual, and it's kind of giving me...
And the other thing is, too, is that, like, I'm listening. I'm hearing out. I'm watching videos on this. I've listened to spaces about this. I'm hearing the claims people are making, and I'm just not convinced. I think it's kooky, Candace, stupid shit. Like, she plays the video of the guy goes, he filmed himself? Pretty suspicious. Like, let me make a face. Let me make a crazy reaction face.
Like, I don't know, LBJ, when he gets sworn in that famous picture. Unfortunately, sworn in. Unfortunately, of course, he's sad in this photo. Gosh, he's obviously not wanting to be the president of the United States. JFK was shot and killed. And now LBJ has to step up, unfortunately. But I gotta be honest, I wasn't there. I don't think LBJ was actually that upset. I don't know why. Vibes.
He gave a wink.
Vibes just aren't vibing for me in that picture. But
so she's implying that Erica, who just had her husband, the father of her children, murdered, Unity 17 in all caps says, FBI would never lie to you, Adam. It's cool that you trust them. I don't trust them. And I don't agree that they would never lie. But guess what? Candace Owens will say some retarded, stupid shit for clicks also. Are you going to acknowledge that or no? No. Candace Owens and Ian Carroll really getting to the bottom of things. Yeah, they're all actors. Right, I forgot. Not a fake marriage, and they're actors, and she's just a honeypot.
Maybe he was. Maybe the truth is that LBJ simply, use an expression, had his wits about him. And JFK had a plan. Like in the event that he had been horrifically assassinated in front of the world, JFK maybe had a succession plan. Now, if these terms I'm using here sound familiar to you, it's because they should sound familiar. It's the exact terminology that was utilized by Pastor Rob McCoy just 4 days after Charlie was murdered. In front of his congregation, he spoke about Charlie's succession plan that he was somehow privy to. I don't know why, but he knew 4 days later and announced to the world that Charlie indeed had a plan. Take a listen.
Everyone's worried about the leadership of TPUSA. Don't. He was wise enough at 31 to put together a plan for succession. It's very clear what they decided, and they're implementing it now.
Amazing. I mean, amazing. So on September 14th,
Hold on. How is that amazing? Charlie, yourself, you said Charlie sent you text that he is having visions and dreams that he was not going to make it, that he was going to be taken out. So wouldn't that make sense that he told his wife that he wanted her to clean up the mess? Wouldn't that make sense?
we were made aware of this succession plan. And I find that to be fascinating. The people who didn't even know Charlie all around the world seem to be fighting harder for him, fighting harder for truth. And it is, in fact, thanks to people on the internet like Sam Parker, James Lee, Ian Carroll, Zeb Boykin.
Okay. Oops.
Inexplicably took Charlie Kirk. So these are all surgeons at this regional hospital that nobody ever heard of. That's the one they inexplicably took Charlie Kirk to. Instead of taking him to the closer place with a trauma center, they take him to this regional hospital. And it turns out people are Google searching this regional hospital from Israel and Washington, D.C. They're Google searching the medical examiner from Washington, D.C. and Israel. And now we find out they're Google searching the surgeons at that regional hospital from Israel. And they're all on this around the same time cluster.
Why would they be doing that?
Well, I wanted to show people.
Candace is not smart. She promotes Jesus. Like, she's not smart. She can't figure out the Jesus conspiracy. You think she's going to figure out this? You trust her to figure out this?
So you can do some kind of search, and you can see what people are searching for via Google searches.
Right.
And so, like, if you put in something like Jimmy Dore, it'll show you all the places in the world people are Googling Jimmy Dore, right?
Okay, so what's the theory here? Why would people in Israel be searching trends like Losi Center, Mauser 98? Why? Why would they be doing that? Doesn't even make sense. What's the theory here? What's the clue?
Remember after the election, Jimmy, everyone was searching painless slip and slide methods. Do I need to get a lawyer?
Yeah.
Remember, because we thought Trump was going to do something?
So I found this, and I was getting ready to put it on the show, and then I saw James Lee also found this, and I like the way he breaks it down. So let's listen to what James Lee, friend of the show, guest host.
Time you heard the name Tyler Robinson.
By the way, it's always three names, right? Tyler James Robinson. Tyler James Robinson. Lee Harvey Oswald.
Okay, already. Why would they do this? Because there's probably a lot of James Robinsons out there, and they don't want everybody that's named James Robinson to be associated with a famous assassin. Maybe that's why.
Why is it always three names? Anyway, let's go. Let's keep going.
In case there's another guy with that name, so you can...
Exactly! Duh!
I would just guess if I had to guess why, but who knows?
I don't know. Luigi Mangione was just two names, right?
Yeah, but all the
only one.
syllables.
There's only one Luigi Mangione.
There's only one.
And then you have Jack Ruby.
What about the guy who killed RFK? What was his name? Remember, he lives in Pasadena.
Harvey Oswald?
Sirhan. Yeah.
Three Sirhans?
That's like Sirhan. That's like if Chris Christie was named Christie.
Yeah, I'm not watching Ole Damigard on Charlie Kirk, dude. That guy's out of his mind.
So let's start it again.
Let me ask you a question. When was the
Guys,
first
most
time
schizo.
you heard the name Tyler Robinson or the Losi Center, a Mauser 98? For me, and I assume many of you, it was in the days and weeks after Charlie Kirk's tragic assassination.
So who was the one that messaged me about this, or that just super chatted, power chatted? You said that it's already debunked because you can do this and find other random search things also had spikes in other countries. Is that what you said?
September 10th. And you better believe I've been doing some Googling since then, right? Who is Tyler? What are the access points to the Losi Center rooftop? What kind of damage can a 30-06 caliber bullet do? But
C-Bell, no, I've never done an interview with Nick Fuentes. He's been running scared from me since like 2017. Here it is. Same results in other countries. Thank you, Gary. Let's see. Before we get into, maybe I'll have them explain it a little more.
what if I told you somebody, maybe multiple somebodies?
Hey, C-Bell is high school girls. High school girls are back. We were wondering about you. So she says I'm the non-Christian Nick Fuentes.
Searching those terms before September.
Thanks, 10th. I guess.
What do you think about that?
Before the shooting. Well, there's Washington, D.C. At 11 a.m., the day before the Charlie Kirk shooting.
So this guy figured out the day before he went back and saw from Washington, D.C.
Is it not possible their statistics could be off by a day? Or Israel's a day ahead. So when they search it the day right after he gets shot, they're searching these terms and it shows up on our date before. How about that? Because if it happened the same time, it's the day before here, but it's the day the next day over there because they're a day ahead. How about that? Time zone difference. Oh, it took me 10 seconds of listening to this theory to realize a flaw in it already that they're not accounting for, I'm sure.
Somebody had Google searched the guy they're claiming did the shooting, but it was the day before the shooting. Why would somebody in Washington, D.C. Google search a guy, Tyler Robinson, nobody ever heard of, from Washington, D.C.?
Wait, just one person or a lot of searches?
No, just one search.
Okay.
And you'll see here where the news finally broke that it was, in fact, Tyler James Robinson. But notice that. That's weird.
Yeah.
That's weird.
I guess Mossad just dropped the ball. Mossad Googled his name and messed up the whole conspiracy so these internet detectives could get to the bottom of it. You know, Mossad forgot to use incognito mode. They forgot to use their Mossad browser. No, they accidentally Googled, man. They left a loose string. The Google search. Whoops. We thought that they were capable of everything, but they just almost had everything perfect.
Say somebody, why would anybody be searching the name Tyler James Robinson one day before he allegedly assassinated Charlie Kirk? The data point is just a tiny blip, but it's there. Tyler James Robinson, right? A name that nobody knew of prior to September 12th, 2 days after the shooting, when the media told us who Tyler James Robinson was, right? A supposed 22-year-old leftist who hated Charlie Kirk. So what does that little Google trend blip mean? Well, I did some research using Google Gemini, and they say Google Trends, what it does is normalize search interest to the region you select. The formula is search interest equals total searches in the region and time divided by total searches for the term. So when you look at things from a nationwide context, the total number, a fraction of all the US searches, that it gets rounded down to 0. But then when you zoom in a DC context, if you filter for the District of Columbia, the total search volume is much, much smaller. So if a few searches for Tyler James Robinson on September 9th originated in the DC area, then this handful of searches becomes a significant enough proportion of all DC searches on that day to register a value of 18 out of 100. Then it says, and this part is critical, quote, the fact that the searches are localized to DC, a city synonymous with the federal government, intelligence, national media, and political organizations, strongly shifts the interpretation away from random noise or perpetrator checking his own name from an ambiguous anomaly into a strong potential signal of pre-event institutional.
Okay, I can't listen to him anymore. Let's look at this now. Google Trends thing is dumb. It either doesn't work exactly how we think it works or it's buggy. I'm finding pre-9/10 search results in the most random countries for Tyler James Robinson. Tyler James Robinson, September 4th? Does that mean 100 searches? What is this? The regional hospital? But like, what is this? Is this all places? 100 searchers on July 14th? Okay, so what? Why are they all saying 100? Every one of those has 100? Okay, Zogbot, I'm going to need a little more background information there.
Knowledge or activity. That is interesting. And to be clear, I'm not coming to any conclusion.
There's 329 people in the U.S. named Tyler James Robinson? Oh, it's a percentage, 100%? It doesn't mean 100 searches. It means that day was the only day it was searched in the time frame.
Myself just yet, but that is how Google is interpreting its own trends data. But hold up for a second, strap in, buckle up, whatever you need to do, because there is actually so much more weirdness.
So there is so much more. Check this out. So this is the guy who cracked this originally. This guy,
Dan Parker.
I don't know if his name.
Oh,
is...
it looks like Baron Coleman. Maybe that's it.
Oh, Baron Coleman. Oh.
Yeah, I think so.
And isn't it weird that this is the only Baron we've ever heard of, except for Trump's kid and Baron von Richthofen from World War I? Anyway.
Baron Munchausen.
So here's another bombshell. Watch this. Turn up the volume on this one. So Israeli and Washington, D.C. IP addresses conducted unique Google searches of Timpanogos Regional Hospital. So they took Charlie Kirk not to the closest hospital with the trauma center. They took him to this farther away hospital with a regional hospital without the trauma stuff that they had at the place that was closer. Isn't that interesting? And so this guy he finds out people were doing Google
What does it matter? He was dead. What does it matter what hospital?
That
Kooky
regional
boomer.
hospital before the assassination from Israel and from Washington, D.C. Let's watch.
I wonder if anybody Googled the hospital where they took Charlie Kirk. Wonder if anybody Googled the hospital where they took Charlie Kirk. They took him to Timpanogos Regional Hospital. That's there in the district. That's there in Utah. They have, I think, a campus in Orem, Utah. Psycho District of Columbia. Here's where, again, on September.
So what's the theory here then? Again, why is this so suspicious? Assuming that this is true with the dating and the tying, you're telling me so somebody in Israel, some Mossad agent in Israel that knew the plan, he's like, let me get on Google and search for the hospital where Charlie's going to go to. Like, why? This doesn't seem extremely suspicious. It doesn't even add up, assuming that it's true.
11th right there, you see the searches for Timpanogos Regional Hospital, people looking for where they took Charlie Kirk. But you'll see this spike of interest in Timpanogos Regional Hospital out of D.C., and then no interest for 2 solid months before the shooting. But again, keep in mind that July 20 anchor date, here we have a July 16, 2025. And then we have a July 3, and we have a June 28. And if you go out 12 months, you'll notice you even had one back then, and then this all kind of goes out. So something's going on here at the Timpanogos Regional Hospital search. And then
why would anybody from Israel or Washington, D.C. be doing a Google search for that regional hospital? Interesting, but it's clustered together. Okay,
okay. If it's just one search, like what if somebody has a family member or a friend that's staying at a hospital, that's in the hospital, and they call to like try to talk to the room or something? How about that? Where's the hospital footage? I mean, do you think the hospital feels inclined to like release all of their security footage to like please Candace Owens? I don't think so. I would not expect to see like we act like the authorities are going to give us every single little detail so the internet sleuths like Candace Owens can like, you know, do their investigation.
You go.
The day before the shooting.
The day before.
Somebody in the District of Columbia says, we should really make sure we know what the Timpanogos Regional Hospital is. We really should make sure.
See, that doesn't make any sense. I can see why people Google, believe it or not, people Google hospitals. Sometimes hospitals that are out of state. It happens.
We know the day before he gets shot. So you had that July 20 anchor date, the time around there. You had a time way back. That could be anything. And then the day before, somebody zeroes in and says, we need to look up Timpanogos Regional Hospital. Maybe look up an address. Maybe they're looking up, who knows?
Exactly.
Again, I just reporting the facts. I'm just reporting the facts. I'm not drawing conclusions tonight. I could give you possible conclusions you could draw. And you could draw your own conclusion, or you could just sit back and look and learn like I did. Because after Timpanogos Regional Hospital, I thought, I wonder who the medical examiner is in Utah. I wonder who the medical examiner is in Utah, because it appears to me, based on everything I've looked at, that Charlie Kirk may not have had an autopsy, which I find shocking. Shocking. Because an autopsy could give you a lot of things, such as what angle did the bullet come in? Where did the bullet go? What type of bullet was it? What damages were done to the organs? Were there any other injuries? And this is going to come up in a minute. Were there any other injuries anywhere else in the body?
And by the way, so there's speculation that there wasn't an autopsy. Now, I know by law there has to be one. And of course, they don't have to release it to the public, but they do give it to the family. So why wouldn't they want people to know about it? Why would people?
Okay, look at this. So I just looked up a random hospital from New Mexico, Los Alamos Medical Center. Uh-oh, look, in the last year, people have been Googling it. How's that any different than what's going on here? People Google hospital names.
Will be concealing what the autopsy report says. If it's going to, so people won't be running around having conspiracy theories about what actually happened. Why wouldn't they release that? That's very weird.
Even JFK. Didn't Dr. Bodden, well, that's where we got Dr. Bodden from the JFK thing.
Yeah, well, if it's important to have the same basic coroner that stands by the official JFK narrative.
I heard, is it true? Is this the lore for this, that they changed the law in Utah that they don't release autopsy reports? There isn't a law to make autopsies mandatory. Okay, so false premise there.
50-year-old rifle is what they're saying. Here we go. Let's keep going.
And so I wondered who the medical examiner was there in Utah.
Who was
and I looked her up. She's a woman named Deidre Amaro. And she was looked up, but this time not in the District of Columbia, but in Israel, which I thought was very strange. June 30th of 2025.
So around that same time, when someone from Israel and Washington, D.C.
Greatest accomplishment we have ever done.
What?
Okay, if we were to search this name, hold on, what is the name? I want to search this name and do like another country and see if it comes up. Did they do this?
Here we go.
In Israel.
And we already know for a fact this is not a lone gunman, because that guy Zinn immediately dropped his pants and said, "I killed him, don't shoot me." So he was there as a distraction. So that guy's got a shady past of being involved in psyops all over the place. And here he was, definitely planted as a distraction in the crowd. Immediately he hears a shot, he drops his pants, starts saying, "I did it, don't shoot me." And then they find
why? So the other not real shooter could get away? Gary says, I did, Adam. I found results for DeAndre Amaro in Argentina. Okay, so somebody in Argentina searched the name too beforehand? Exactly like I thought. Like, you can't just do something like that when you're trying to look for something and get a little hit, but not like try to cover your bases like that.
Child POR.
They didn't find it. They said he had it. No confirmation if they found it. He said he had it.
He said he had it, so now nobody can interview him. He had child videos, if you know what I mean. So we know
a lot of Utah citizens go to Israel. Could be a tourist in Israel Googling their doctor. I mean, that seems like a more likely explanation than like Mossad agent is Googling who their cover up synonym that's going to cover up the autopsy or whatever they think. Like, it doesn't even add up to me to be something like this thing to be reporting on like this.
People, of course, it's many more.
Many of them probably on his security team.
And it's probably his security team. And
that's who I blame.
That's who I blame. And you won't believe what the next Google searches showed that this guy did, coming up right after a brief word from our sponsor.
Yeah, I guess Mossad is like super geniuses. They can stage everything and assassinate anybody, even their greatest people, with 4D chess while Fuentes explodes. But they're not smart enough to not Google without a VPN from Israel so that these conspiracy guys online can catch them.
There in Utah, somebody with an IP address originating in Israel decided they were very interested in Deidre Amaro. And lest you think I didn't check, the reason I'm not showing you others, go to the District of Columbia, for example, not there. You can even go to Utah and see. Not there. So if it's not in the District of Columbia and it's not in Utah, this is not a very common search, is what I'm pointing out here.
Yes.
Not a very common search at all. But there it was. in Israel. So I thought, that's weird. That's weird. So I press on.
Hold on. Press on. I'm going to do an advanced search. Google Trends. DeAndre Amaro. D-E-I-R Dre Amaro. Pathologist, Columbia, Mississippi. Okay.
All right. This one gets a little deep. This one, if you have a 5-point safety harness in your seat, you might want to go ahead and fasten it. You will have full access to your entire seat. You will only need the front edge for this one.
Buckle up.
This one took a little research. I was very curious.
All right, here we go. So first country I check. I do DeAndre Amaro, Australia. 2022. Somebody Googled her name. Well, I guess Australia murdered her. Murdered Charlie. You see how that works? Why would, this is not a common search, but hey, why would somebody in Australia search her name? Maybe the Aussies are involved in this too. Yeah, like they wouldn't. It's just so silly.
Curious when the Talking Points USA spokesperson came out and said they'd spoken to the surgeon, but didn't give the surgeon's name. So I thought, who's the surgeon?
Who's the surgeon?
Again, this is the surgeon who looked, according to the Talking Points USA spokesperson, who seems like a nice guy, not knocking him at all.
The guy, the spokesperson for Talking Point USA said it was a miracle bullet and Charlie's bone was like Superman made of steel and that's how it stopped that bullet. That's what he said. The surgeon said. Didn't name the surgeon, so he's going to find out who that surgeon is.
Only doing his job, relaying the message that he was given from the surgeon, just let the world know about it. Fine with it. This is the guy who said, hey, Charlie's made of steel. This bullet would have normally gone through almost anybody, but Charlie's made of steel. They didn't get the surgeon's name. And again, remember, Deidre Amora, they didn't do an autopsy, I don't think. At least that's the news on the street. They didn't do an autopsy. So I go and I get a list of all the surgeons I can find.
Watch. I bet you that autopsy is going to come surface at some point too. Maybe during the trial, after the trial.
Goes regional hospital. And I think, could anyone have looked up any of these people? The first surgeon I could find was a guy named Stephen Nealman. Stephen Nealman. Remember that date, July 20? This is July 18th.
Same day.
This is July 18th. Stephen Nealman.
What?
July 18th, 2025. This was out of our friends on the other side of the planet over there. Very curious about the surgeons in Utah, you'll find out.
Isn't that weird?
I go to the next one I could find. Robert Patterson. I found a lot, so I added it in.
So you're saying Charlie was on there. It's like if they have an event at the school where they're having that stage set up for Charlie and then they disassemble the stage. Doesn't seem like what? Well, again, what's the conspiracy there? They had to hide the secret magic bullet that really did go through them and landed in the dirt and they had to cover it up or something. Like, what is that? I don't get it. And they didn't say it stopped the bullet, right, Jocelyn? Like, they're trying to make it seem like they said he's made of steel. This is Christians trying to act like, well, Charlie was strong and it's a miracle that it didn't go through him and hit anybody else or something. Like, what does Jocelyn say here? They didn't say it stopped the bullet. They said it glanced the spine and redirected it into a chest cavity. So it deflected it. Didn't stop it. It deflected it into his chest.
B. July 23 and 24.
What?
May have been the only one that was searched twice, 2 days in a row. July 20, I eliminate people like the breast reconstruction surgeons because I didn't think that was necessary to look up. Actually,
so these are all surgeons at this regional hospital that nobody ever heard of. That's the one they inexplicably took Charlie Kirk to. Instead of taking him to the closer place with a trauma center, they take him to this regional hospital. And it turns out people are Google searching this regional hospital from Israel and Washington, D.C. They're Google searching the medical examiner from Washington, D.C. and Israel. And now we find out they're Google searching the surgeons at that regional hospital from Israel. And they're all on this around the same time cluster. Okay.
Now the general surgeons, the emergency surgeons, all the people who minor surgery, I looked them all up. I go to the next one, Lee Trotter. Has anyone looked up Lee Trotter? Again, notice the date. Notice the date. This is right in that July 20 area, that July 20 timeline. Someone with an IP address originating in Israel, looking up surgeon Lee Trotter, near about that same July 20 time period.
What?
Are there other surgeons in the area? Yeah, as a matter of fact, there is. There's a guy named Lee Patterson. So I look up Lee Patterson. Notice the date, July 19th.
Whoa.
Somebody with an IP address originating in Israel in the week of July 20, that week on either side of July 20, was very interested in all the people who practice surgery at Timpanogos Regional Hospital in Orem, Utah.
Why? Why? Okay, assuming this is true, why? Why would this person in Israel that knows about Charlie Kirk's assassination plan, why would he need to be Googling all of the surgeons there? Can anybody explain that to me? Like a plausible explanation?
There was a lot of interest from an IP address originating there. Now, let's just, we talked about the different, let's say someone's using a VPN. At this point, if I'm the FBI or I'm the Utah State Police, I think this is still a Utah State Police matter, by the way. This didn't cross jurisdictional lines, I don't think. If I'm the Utah State Police,
like, what do the surgeons do? Okay, so assuming it's true, some Jews in Israel knew about the plan, so they're searching all the surgeons at this hospital where he's going to go to. What did they do? No, Unity, you explain it to me. You're the one kvetching at everybody in here. You explain it. Why? What did the surgeons do? Why did they need to be Googled by this Mossad agent in Israel? Thank you, Alabama Human. He says they could simply use their own intelligence systems to get that info. Or it's like if they're going to have agents in place, they would like have their emails, or they would just like have their contact or something. They would have their pseudonyms there ready to go and take the body and do I don't know what, because he was dead when he got shot. So what do the searching surgeons have to do with anything? They didn't do surgery on him to what? Cover up that so that they needed to search the surgeon. So Mossad was like, hey, let's search what surgeons are nearby where we're going to do this hit. And they email him and they'd be like, we've got blackmail on you. We got your Twitter. We got your Google searches. And if you don't say that bullet was stopped by his neck, we're going to get you. Like, is that the theory? Yeah, we all saw the shot. He was dead. So what's the point of the surgeons now?
Calling Google and saying, I need to know the IP addresses that hit this. I need to know if this belongs to a VPN. Is it the same IP address that looked up all the different surgeons in my county? Because there's more. By the way, there's a guy named Brian Gill, probably a very talented surgeon. July 22.
Oh my God, these fucking idiots. Unity, I'm about to ban you, dude. Adam, a little focused on proving Candace wrong? Can't see the forest through the trees? Dude, you guys asked me to play this video. If this is the conspiracy everybody's talking about online, I'm going to watch it and see what's up with it myself. Okay, I'm sorry, but nobody's explaining here what is the theory. They replaced the grass. Okay, if that's true, why? Covering up the bullet? Why? They had to cover up the bullet at the hospital too? And the Mossad had to Google search who were the doctors there and tell them? What is it? Jocelyn says it's the meme of the crazy guy connecting random dots on the whiteboard. That's what it feels like.
IP address originating in Israel. What about Richard Rasmussen? I'm sure he's a fine surgeon, a nice guy, probably a pillar of the community. Also searched July 14th. IP address originating in Israel. Richard Rasmussen. Again,
So what? Are you telling me that all of these doctors at this hospital all got contacted by Mossad and are in on it?
The state police, if I'm the FBI, I have real concerns that my surgeons are being searched within a very narrow time window, like 7 to 10 days.
Dude, I'm not even granting that they paved over the murder scene or whatever happened. Like, when you have, usually like if you're going to have an event and a speaker, maybe they have a little setup for the stage. They have a setup, breakdown. Something else is going to happen there. You know, there could be other explanations.
Of each other. And I want to know, is it the same IP address looking at all of them? Because
Unity, if you're going to be in my chat calling everybody fed jacketing, I am going to mute you for the rest of the show today. So just stop the schizophrenia, all right? Yeah, we're all feds here in my chat of 400 people, but no, Jimmy Dore, the guy on YouTube with 1 million subs, no, he's legit.
Oh, is so curious about my surgeons in my local hospital. If I'm the FBI, I might ask, is this related to an assassination where they rushed the body there and there was a surgeon that declared Charlie Kirk a Superman and claims he found the bullet and then signed a death certificate and there was no autopsy. And people may have been searching the surgeon?
Yeah, Mossad searched all the surgeons. They're like, search the surgeons. We're going to threaten them and tell them they better say that Charlie Kirk has bones of steel.
So
we're gonna call him up and say, hey, Charlie Kirk's gonna be in there soon, and you're gonna not do the autopsy. Got it, Goy? Is that like that's the only plausible situation I can think of? If anybody can't do better, then this is a big nothing burger. And just like I said, yeah, everyone's a fed, but the schizos Candace Owens. There's not 2,000 viewers on X. That's a cumulative.
But one thing is abundantly clear here, Kurt, is that researching things is anti-Semitic.
Yeah, I thought we're putting an end to that. When is Larry Ellison's family take over everything we see in here?
right?
If it's any consolation, Charlie was clearly dead before they took it. He didn't live on a little bit. And if the story is true about a 30-06 that his magical neck stopped,
which it's not,
he wouldn't survive for an hour after that or whatever.
No. You
watch him. I saw that guy's soul go out of his fucking body on that video.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to see it. It popped up in my algorithm, whether I want to see it or not.
And they did it publicly because they wanted you to see it and they wanted everybody to see it. They wanted to send a message. And this is beyond weird and coincidental. And so we know it was more than one person involved for sure. We know that the FBI and Kash Patel are lying about this for sure. We know the governor of Utah is lying about this for sure. Nobody believes, oh, wait a minute. I'm a 4.0 student. I'm one of the smartest guys around. I just did a public assassination. Let me text my lover and give the step-by-step account of everything I did, because there's no way the FBI could get these text messages, right?
I'll grant him that. That is the most sus and stupid thing.
Of course that didn't happen. Of course that was manufactured.
Has anyone looked into the other shooters we've had in the that are mysterious, such as the guy who shot Trump's ear? Have we done the same search with Ryan Routh? Because I'll bet you'd probably get real interesting results.
I bet you would.
Oh, wow.
I bet you would. And whatever that guy's name was from Butler, Pennsylvania.
I can't remember his dumb name. The kid with the hair lip from the BlackRock commercial.
Yeah.
Because we've never heard about anything about him ever again. I guess that chapter's closed in our lives.
Every single event that happens, you'll notice too, they always do, look, this website about this was created the day before or something. And it sounds suspicious if true, but then the explanation is something simple like that the delay of the website browser thing or something, or what was the other explanation for that one? It was, you can change the date of the creation date for the domain or something stupid. It wasn't the FBI that released the text.
I just think this is beyond suspicious. This is a clue. That's what this looks like. Now, I'm not a Kash Patel head of the FBI. I don't have an FBI jacket that goes whoosh, whoosh, whoosh when I walk up to the podium.
That's funny.
But I do have a good BS detector, which has served me very well on this show, which is why I was able to debunk that the Russia tapped into the Democrat DNC server. I knew that was a lie before everybody else. I knew Russiagate was a lie before everybody else. I knew the Syrian gas attacks was a psyop before everybody else.
So all the Russian propaganda talking points, dude, Jimmy Dore is probably a vatnik.
I knew COVID was not before everybody else, but before most other people. So it just takes a good BS detector, and
but your BS detector doesn't go off with this Jewish cult that dominates the world, though.
So we know that the FBI is lying.
Yeah, he's a big Putin shill.
Why don't they know stuff like this? Why aren't they talking about? Why isn't there a newspaper article about this? Newspaper. I sound like Bill Maher. It's in the papers. Gotta get the papers. Get the papers. So there you go. Some more. I wonder if
I'm going to look more into this. Yeah, his wife did it. I'm sure she wanted to take out she had to take out the father of her children, explain to her children that her husband is in heaven with Jesus on a forever business trip, so that she could take over the reins and be pro-Israel. Totally makes sense, dude. Yeah, definitely the case.
Mikey, Charlie's friend, Charlie's chief of staff, a guy all of us know, a guy I need to call Erica. And then he takes his phone. That call.
I think the Trump shooting could have been fake blood. They brought him down on the ground, threw some blood on him, blood capsule. Did you see how there was something blocking where you couldn't see what was going on with people surrounding him? I don't know that for a fact, but I do think that that's a possibility. But I don't think that Charlie Kirk is still alive. I don't think that his DJI wireless mic blew up. No, don't think that.
He had to step up in this situation. And from that point, he was like a general directing a battle where he was, grabbing people and saying, okay, we need to get to the hospital and
Jimmy Bohr
to do these things. And you guys need to wait here. I need to get in here to get information so that I can get it to Erica. And when we learned he was dead, he came out and he told us, and then he says, now none of you can say anything that you've heard because Erica is not going to hear about this from anyone except me.
Can I ask a question? been thrown into this 10 minutes ago, but there's a suggestion online that Mikey, Charlie's chief of staff, one of the most sincere people you'd ever meet, brilliant, Christian, kind, everyone he ever met in his entire life, couldn't hurt a fly, was part of a conspiracy to murder Charlie. That's what's going on.
Yeah. It's vile. It's utterly vile.
Who would do this? Like, what type of individual? Just to create content, do we think, or is there some? What's the ulterior?
I don't know. I think a lot of this mindset just sort of fuels itself.
Moment when I got the news, I was so shell shocked. I was not even there, but I was immediately traumatized. My brain fries like an egg. I can't see straight. I can't think straight. All I knew is that, like, what's happening? My wife came in.
Oh, guess what? Okay, now I figured it out. I see it. So Bangladesh, 2025 July, somebody searched for the hospital in Bangladesh. I guess they were involved too. Argentina, again. Is it the same day? September 2025. Somebody searched for this doctor's name in Argentina. How come these guys couldn't do this? How come they couldn't check and run some tests to see if it's legit? No, they go straight to TikTok to do their viral video. Explosive, sensational. Uganda even has a search, August 2025, for George Hodgson Zinn, the decoy, the plant. Sorry, I didn't see that you were doing different dates, different locations there. Argentina, Bangladesh. Djibouti, also Tyler James Robinson search, September 2025. Uh-oh. See why this is dumb? These guys that are promoting this should have done this due diligence test to see if these names show up in other countries. The Ugandans killed Charlie Kirk, but they didn't do that. They didn't do this. Oh, Unity, yeah, you're backpedaling now, huh, Unity? Oh, even without the searches, it's still sus. Come on.
And she like hugged me. We started crying together, and I can't even remember those moments very clearly. I wasn't even there. Mikey was two
Mike has
steps
talked
away,
about that,
and I asked him. I was like, "Do you even remember the moments after?" He's like, I can't even really remember. I know I called Erica. I know I called my wife. I know I called my dad. I can't even really remember the steps I took. I can't. But here's the last thing I want to make a point of. And because Charlie had given me similar instructions along the years. Said, if anything ever happens to me, you call Erica.
Yeah,
that's the other thing. And he drilled that into Mikey's brain so that when this moment of trauma happened, that he turned around and he knew he had to do it. And by the way, last thing, because this is part of the video allegations here, is that they think they're alleging that he was on the phone immediately. He was not. He was taking social videos, which he would send to our group chat, which we would then put on Charlie's social while the event was happening, so you could see like the crowd come in or his interactions. And we were only 2 questions into this event, so he was still getting it out to all the chats he needed to do, which he did at every event. He turns around, and it was so blaringly loud, I'm told. You would know this better than I, but this is what I'm told. It was so blaringly loud, and he was so shell-shocked, he put his fingers in his ear, but his phone was still in his hand. He walks away. And he's
not even walk. I want to, because people are talking about that. The way it was is we had a cordoned off area with grates, so you had controlled access. All the people, when this happens, they all get the idea we should leave before we are shot, and so there's a little narrow gap that I think people. It's not really walking; it's that everyone has to slow up to get through this little narrow choke point to get out of the area. And
anyways, well, the point is he walks briskly.
Pretty suspicious.
I don't care if he's walking, running, whatever, because again. The most traumatic thing you could imagine had just happened to him.
Yeah.
My brain fried. I cannot imagine what was going through your guys' head being on the scene and seeing it and knowing, again, the security guys are jumping in.
Showing video of the guy walking away after a gunshot just went off with his hands up by his ears. Whether he's walking or running, he's in on it because let's just say, if he was in on it, he would have ran. It doesn't make any sense. So if he walks, that means he's in on it. But if he runs, they'll be like, look, if he would have ran, they'd be like, look, he ran away like he knew. He knew that it was coming. He wanted to look like he was scared, so he ran. Like they could say anything. You're telling me Palantir owned the home where the gun was found? I heard that there was a bunch of people in the neighborhood that worked for some valve company. That was one of Candace's conspiracy that day. The Palantir thing is fake. It sounds stupid. It sounds like bullshit. Yeah, would you have ran or walked away? Dude, if he would have ran, you would have said, oh, that's suspicious. Oh, he ran? suspicious.